Reverence is the magnet on love, attention, and what responds to presence. I've been thinking a lot about reverence lately. Not reverence as ceremony or devotion, not reverence as something lofty or removed from real life, but reverence as a way of standing inside the moment you're already in. This week's podcast conversation with Cynthia Abulafia helped crystallize something I've been circling for a long time. Reverence, love, and manifestation are not separate practices. They're the same movement expressed through the body. Not in the vision board sense, not in the positive thinking sense, but in the way we relate to what is already here. Love isn't a feeling, it's a field. We often talk about love as an emotion, something that happens to us, but lived love feels more like a field we inhabit, a posture toward reality, a way of meeting what arrives. When I look back at the most meaningful things that have entered my life, relationships, opportunities, places, creative work, they didn't arrive because I wanted them harder or visualized them more clearly. They arrived when I softened. When I stopped bracing against the present moment. When I stopped demanding proof before trust. When I allowed myself to be changed by what I was already touching. That softening is reverence. And reverence is magnetic. Why forcing manifestation rarely works. So much manifestation language is built on effort. Raise your vibration, eliminate doubt, get clear, get certain, get specific. But when I sit with my own life and with the lives of people I support, I see something else entirely. The most aligned things happen when we stop trying to extract outcomes from life and begin relating to it instead. Reverence doesn't demand results, it listens. And listening changes what can find us. Transition is where magnetism is forged. This is especially clear in my work as a transition doula. People come to me when something has ended or is ending, a relationship, a role, a version of self. But the next chapter hasn't announced itself yet. They often feel unmagnetic in these moments, unclear, untethered, afraid that because they don't know what they want, nothing good can come. But transition is not a void. It is a tuning ground. When someone learns to stay with uncertainty without abandoning themselves, when they honor grief without collapsing into it, and desire without rushing it, something subtle but powerful shifts. Reverence during transition looks like not forcing clarity, not betraying the body to meet a timeline, not pretending everything is fine, not demanding the future reveal itself early. That kind of reverence creates coherence, and coherence attracts like things. We are magnets, but not the way we're taught. I do believe we are magnetic beings, but not because we think correctly. We're magnetic because everything in us is vibrating: heart, nervous system, breath, attention. When those vibrations are fragmented by urgency or fear, what we attract often reflects that fragmentation. When they begin to harmonize, when we treat our own experience with reverence, life responds. Not always immediately, not always dramatically, but with precision. Love doesn't pull things toward us. It aligns with what already belongs. What reverence looks like in my life right now. Right now, reverence looks surprisingly ordinary. It looks like moving slowly with decisions instead of demanding certainty, honoring my body's limits even when my mind wants more, staying with unanswered questions without turning them into problems, choosing what feels alive over what looks impressive. I've noticed that when I live this way, things don't rush in, but they arrive intact, not distorted by grasping, not inflated by fantasy, just real, and real things last. Manifestation as relationship, not reward. I'm starting to believe manifestation isn't a reward for good behavior or correct thinking. It's the natural outcome of relationship. When we relate to life with reverence, with curiosity, care, and presence, life responds in kind. Not as a transaction, but as recognition. Love recognizes love. Coherence recognizes coherence. And what we call manifestation is often just the moment these recognitions meet. If you're in a season of wanting clarity, partnership, purpose, direction, I don't think the invitation is to want less. I think it's to want with reverence. To stay embodied enough to shape what's unfolding, not just impatient for what comes next. That's the work I do. That's the way I'm learning to live. I call in Rhea, ancient mother of the gods, keeper of wild earth and deep time. She who knew how to hold life while it was still becoming. She who protected what was tender, unfinished, and sacred by hiding it in caves, in mountains, in the body itself. Rhea doesn't rush emergence. She understands gestation, containment, and the fierce love it takes to let something grow out of sight. May she remind us that reverence is not waiting, it is active holding. That love is not passive, it is protection. And that what is meant to come forth does not need force, only the right ground and the patience of the mother who knows when the time is right. If you find yourself in a transition right now, for this month I'm offering $111 threshold transition doula sessions, a space for support when something in your life is ending, emerging, or quietly rearranging itself. These sessions aren't about fixing or rushing clarity, they're about staying present, embodied, and resourced while the next shape of your life takes form.